It's section 2.1. There's a couple questions and I wanted to go over them to give you some help. Problem 22 is one of them. According to a law discovered by the 19th century physician Poisson, the velocity in centimeters per second of blood, little r, centimeters from the central axis of an artery, is given by this function, where k is a constant and big R is the actual radius of the artery. Suppose that for a certain artery, k is 1100 and big R, is 1.3. I'm going to copy that down in my notepad so that the function now looks as follows. So 1100 got plugged in here, and 1.3, when you square it, you get that. So that's B of R, and this is for my version. Be careful, your version might be different. Okay, so now what is the domain of this function? And then you need to compute that. So I'm going to switch over to my document camera. So this is the version that I have. Now remember that this is a real world problem. So when you're finding the domain, you're not looking at this as just an algebra, abstract kind of situation. This is talking about blood going through an artery, and it's got a certain amount of thickness. Okay, so the thicker it is, the harder it is for the blood to flow through. So the blood goes through there. So big R is the radius of the artery, okay, and that's fixed to be 1.3. Little r is the distance from the central axis to the wall. Okay, so this part here, it can't be basically negative. Okay, the smallest it can be is 0. So I'm going to take this and set it to equal 0 and solve. So I'm going to move the r squared over to the other side, and then I'm going to take the square root of that, and I should get 1.3. Okay, so basically the most it can be is 1.3. It can't go past the r, and it can't be negative. So r must be less than or equal to 1.3, but greater than or equal to 0. Okay, I'm going to switch over to WebAssign and put that in. We can include the endpoints. We go from 0, and then we go 1.3 the max, and then square brackets. I'm going to submit that. And it accepts that. I'm going to let you do the other parts where you actually plug in numbers in for R.